bleeding. That's why I'm always leaving. Believe me, cause you always wanna touch me. My thorns will leave you bleeding. That's why I'm always leaving. Believe me. One more shot, one more round. Take my hands pound for pound. Promise I'll let you down. One more shot, one more round. Don't step on my rose. Don't step on my rose. Yes, hello, hello. And again, I apologize. I didn't try my best. I'm still having issues with Zoom, but I wanted to get started. So if you can just kind of not get distracted by the image issues, but I wanted to get this session started. And so, hello, hello, good evening. And whoever's come across this, I just want to thank you for coming across and being willing to listen. And especially, this is specifically for singles. But of course, the information does transcend to if you're already couples as well, but just really let focus on singles for now. And this is day two. This is session two of reasons why, if you're single, you don't have to fear dating. And I'm just going to get right into it. Reason number two, when it comes to not fearing dating, is because it robs you of today. Today is all we have. Tomorrow is not promised to us. And it's important that, in this day and age, there's so much going on. And according to research, a common thing that singles are afraid of now is called FOBS or FOBS, fear of being single. I thought that was kind of crazy. And another thing that researchers are saying, a couple of other reasons singles fear dating is either one, they afraid of that people like something's wrong with them, like something's wrong with you, that's the fear why you want dating, or you're afraid something's bad's going to happen. And when I think about the fear we have of when we have this fear and we're fearing and we're taking away from the blessings of today, it can have some pretty negative consequences. And it can lead us to, I know it led me to being like Sherlock Holmes, or having a little microscope, and I am doing crazy things, checking email, checking text, checking the mileage on the car, doing the little stalking behavior. That was me. That was me. I did that. I let the fear of, things happening in the future do this to me. And it was because, as I talked yesterday on my first talk, I had these unresolved pain, from being hurt in the past, that I turned to this. And I wonder again, how many of you have done the same? You've allowed fear of something bad happening or thinking you weren't good enough, and it led you to doing some pretty, kind of crazy things. I know it did for me. And I thought when I was doing these actions, playing investigator gadget, that it was going to help protect me. Because I remember after like the big heartbreak that, oh, nobody ever is going to hurt me again. I'm going to protect myself. And, how many people, if you come across this, that you had that kind of belief too, like nobody's going to hurt me again. And I'm a strong, independent Black woman type of persona. And all it was is I had this broken heart, vulnerable, scared of being vulnerable again. And so I thought I would protect myself by becoming hard and sergeant and asking 1,000 questions to make sure, oh, this person isn't going to hurt me again. But in the end, even though I did all those things, it did not help anything. And me going in there at the jump, thinking something bad is going to happen, I did what's called a self-fulfilling prophecy. I don't know if you've heard of this, And basically, a self-fulfilling prophecy is when we assume something bad is going to happen in this relationship or situation, and it ends up happening. And we become like our own little prophets. But we ignore the little bit of truth to the fact of self-fulfilling prophecies, is that we kind of disregard the behaviors that we do, I did, that contributed to that relationship ending. And so, because when it comes to relationship, it takes two, typically. It takes two people coming together because everybody has their own thoughts, their own personality, their own characteristics, and things like this. And so, and again, we all have deficits. We all have baggage. Now, depending on what's in that bag, of course, you know, you want to have, if the person is doing some your deal breakers, like I talked yesterday, yeah, deal breakers, we're not going to negotiate on. No, these are this is breaking the deal. So no lying, no cheating, no abusive type of things. So if you got that in your bag, you can keep your bags and keep on packing. But as long as that what that person's doing is not a deal breaker, then things are negotiable. See, healthy couples know how to negotiate the personality characteristics, the differences in personality, the differences in preferences and things. They know healthy couples know how to negotiate those things. But it takes two. Now, when we do this future fortune telling and things, it causes all kinds of different problems. Now, I know that this has a problem when it comes to self-fulfilling prophecy because it happened to me. I can recall in my past, I had not one, but two guys who were my good friends, and they wanted more. And I know they wanted more because they would tell me, like, oh, Erica, I really care about you. I really like you. I really love you. But I could not see it. I had my blinders of this person's going to hurt me too on. And so I passed on them. And these were not ratchet scrubs. These guys were really good guys, good looking, hardworking, all of that. But I just could not see past my, my issues. And I wonder how many of you have done that, because with self-fulfilling type of prophecy things, first I know it's rough out there. I know it is. And part of it's because there's lots of broken homes. People are growing up in dysfunctional families, and then they grow up and go out they carry these unresolved hurts and issues into other relationships, which tend to contribute to relationship ending or being unhealthy. But I'm not totally pessimistic. There's still good people out there. But the issue is, if we're coming in with this fear, this person is going to do something to me, and then we start doing things and we hold ourselves off, we could be pushing away a good guy or good girl, a good quality person. But because of our inner issues, we can push a good person away. And so it's important that we address these issues. So in this session, I'm gonna just talk about a couple of tips and things for singles. And this is not just singles. Everybody needs this, but just saying, for if you're single and you are, looking to date, you're dating, and as this relates to not fearing this process, it's a couple of things that I want to talk about on, not that we need some tips to address fear, and one of them is like fear of the future. There's common forms of different types of distorted thinking. And one of them is like, I'll never find a mate is another one. This fear that I'll never find someone, and that can lead to some other type of behaviors. And then it can also lead to what the research says is that it will lead us to be like, do desperate things. Like me, like I did talk about yesterday, we'll deal with ratchet scrubs. We'll put up with things because of just this fear of not finding anybody else. At least I got somebody. And I remember, I'm just coming to my memory, this R&B song, back when I was in high school. Now that I think about it, to me, it's the most ridiculous thing, but it was a song. I don't know if any of you guys remember it. It was like this 3-girl group, and they would sing, "Oh, he's mine. You may have had him once, but I've got him all the time." I don't know if you remember that song, but back then it was like, yeah, he's mine. You may have, he may sleep with you, but he comes home to me. But that's ridiculous. I can't believe I would sing that. No, it's like, but again, this is a process that some people actually believe now that I think about it. I don't know about, from a cultural standpoint, especially in the African American Black community, this concept of being the wifey. As long as I'm the wifey or I'm the main one, then it's cool. And he can go sleep around and do the things as long as he comes home to me. And to me, that's foolishness, but I don't want to get off topic. So we just want to make, this fear can cause us to do things that typically we want to do. Now, I remember when, like I said, when I talked yesterday about that 7-year relationship, I thought I was, I was dating a dream that this person was loyal, that this person loved me, but it really was a nightmare. It was a walking nightmare. It was, on Elm Street type of situation. But I didn't wake up, but I finally woke up, thank goodness. And so what can we do to help us not fear where it's robbing us of our blessings of today? First, you and we need to be internally secure. Oh my goodness. I I know in this world there's so many songs, so many books. Oh, you complete me now, and I'm whole now. No. We want to be whole before we meet the person. As mentioned it yesterday, we want to be whole, internally secure, and actually God is supposed to be in the center, internally secure, and I'm internally secure, and I share my life with people. I share my life with my mate, with my family, with my husband, with my cousin, the boss. I share my life with another person. But what happens a lot, I see this a lot. This is not Erica's opinion. This is a lot. I see it every day. I talk in my counseling practice. I talk to people all the time. And people come in and they're complaining, oh my mate, they don't make me happy. They're not doing what I want. And my question to you guys, who told you another person's supposed to make you happy? Who told us somebody else is supposed to make us happy? I don't see that anywhere, except for in the world system. It's called the quid pro quo. You may have heard that term. As long as you do what I want, I'll be happy. But the minute you don't do what I want, you got to get out of here or we're going to be fighting. Because nobody can make you happy. And there's a common saying, I'm sure you've heard this. If you're not happy with yourself, you're not going to be happy with a person either. Because again, another person is not responsible. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Not responsible for your inner peace, your inner person, your inner spirit, your inner soul, your inner heart, your inner mind. They're not responsible for that, for the keeping that. But a lot of people think they are. Why do I know this? Because I talk to these people every day in my counseling sessions. This person is not doing this and they didn't do this. And again, I try to gently talk to them about, they're not responsible for your happiness. And if people can understand this, it'd be a lot of decrease in arguments. Another person can't make you happy. Now, the other person can do things that you like. Absolutely. It's like, duh. I want my mate to do things that I want. But if I'm not internally secure before I get with that mate, again, eventually the house of cards is going to fall because that person is not perfect. I mean, that's another topic. That your mate isn't perfect. They're going to do stuff you don't like. But I'm just saying, it's like if I'm not internally secure and I'm expecting the other person to feel me or to complete me, as soon as that person's not doing what I want, here I am miserable. No, it's like I want to be internally secure and I'm happy with you, happy without you. And it's not from a pride, I don't need you kind of, we can get there too. I don't need a man. No, it's not that. I'm just confident in who I am. And so I'm happy by myself and happy with somebody. And this is that thing. I'm talking to like this, not like I've been like this all my life, guys. Remember yesterday I was talking about how miserable and needy I was yesterday. I had to learn this. I had to grow. And my hope is if you're coming across this, that you don't make the same mistakes I did. See, God gives us, I guess, to me, he gives us grace in life to help each other. Well, we have his word. I mean, first his word, if we, don't start preaching, we had his word is a guide for us, but he also gives us life experiences to help one another and to stop repeating the same mistakes so we can avoid unnecessary pain. So that's what my heart is, guys, to talk about this, to tell my story. It's not just to tell a story. I want you to listen and self-reflect. If you are dating, you're looking to date, These are some things to consider to date successfully. And it's not cookie cutter. I know there's some things, everybody's unique, but there's some common things that come up time after time after time. Research after research after research, they prove over and over again. It's not like some outlying anomaly. This couple broke up. I can't believe that reason. It's not that at all. It's typically the same reasons over and over and over that couples don't make it. Oh, over and over. Nothing new under the sun. Not my Bible. Nothing new under the sun. So I'm just hoping again, if you come across this and you're single, and even if you're dating, if you're married, some of these things apply to you too, because the next one I'm about to talk about, tip number 2, and the song that I wanted to play, I'll Survive, about from Gloria Gaynor, and she talks about, she in her mind, she had to change her mindset to stop, obsessing about this broken relationship and that he don't want me and stuff. She had to change her mind. And so when it comes to, dealing with fear, you got to change the way you think. But there's a lot of people who do a lot. This is a source of major problems in relationships. I see this again in my counseling session, the people sitting across from me, and they telling me their story, what's going on. And it quickly becomes apparent what the problem is. Up here, the thinking, stinking thinking, distorted thinking, irrational, illogical, don't make no sense, crazy type of thinking. And it's a source of many fights in couples. It's a source of us making some bad, unwise decisions in the beginning, ignoring red flags, rationalizing away things. The way we think, the way you think, the way I think is important. And it's, when we're thinking, there's some common types of, I'm just going to talk about a couple of the most common types of distorted thoughts patterns that happen to show up in relationships. There's several of them. I'm going to talk about just a few of them. So the first one is fortune telling. I talked about that one already, but fortune telling. The reason these things are called distortions, they have a little bit of truth to them, because there's nothing wrong with planning for the future. But what we do when we fortune tell is we worry. You worry about the future. You worry something bad is going to happen. And it's irrational because we can't do anything about we worry. There's this study that I remember coming across about anxieties and phobias and fears. And the gist of it is 99% of the stuff that we worry about does not happen. And then the 1% that does, we couldn't have controlled anyway. So what does that mean? There's no point in worrying. But we do. We worry about the future and it doesn't change anything, as I talked about yesterday. And so just fortune telling, not staying in today. Today is all we have. And, fortune telling. The second most common one is mind reading. I love sci-fi movies, sci-fi books and things, but God has not given us the gift to, I know what you're thinking. We're not mind readers. You're not mind readers. But this is a common thing in relationships. I just know what you're thinking. No, you don't know what that person's thinking. You don't know what they're thinking. But many couples do this. They think I just know what you're thinking. Or jumping to conclusions. That's another one. That means you're jumping to a conclusion without all the facts. This is common, so common. I just know he don't love me. He didn't come home when he said he was going to come home. When the fact was he was stuck in traffic and he couldn't call you because his phone was dead because he left the charger at home. But here I am. You don't love me. And I'm jumping to the conclusion of all these wrong conclusions without the facts. And so jumping to conclusions. And then another one is discounting the positives. Basic relationship good things. We often will take each other for granted. We nag and complain about stuff instead of accepting the positive things that person does. When it comes to guys particularly, I'm going to talk from a woman to guy perspective real quick. I remember I used to be really critical, like, why didn't you do it the way I wanted to do it? And my mate was like, fine, I ain't gonna do nothing else for you then. Because again, I wasn't grateful and thankful. So I'm discounting the positive that they're doing. And that's what we can do in relationships. All we focus on is what that person's not doing, they're not doing this, not doing this, and we completely negate what they are doing. Now, it's true. I want to get off topic about love languages, and I'm sure you probably know about that. You know, person may be doing something, but that's not what I really want. And that's a whole nother topic. But just saying, discounting the positives, we're snagging all the time. So don't do that. And then the last one is emotional reasoning, because you feel like it's true. Again, no facts. You feel like it's true, so it must be true. When it's not true, it's false. And another fact that comes from research, most of the assumptions that we have towards what somebody's doing that we don't know are wrong. Majority of the time, all wrong. So what's the solution to this? Challenge. Again, challenge faulty thinking. First, recognize that's what you're doing in the first place. Hey, is this thought helping me right now? Is this helping me to make good decisions or not? And do something about it. Be willing to challenge those thoughts. Something that I teach my clients to do, and I do myself. It's not like I who do this. No, I do it myself. Memorize God's word, particularly the one I have my customers memorize and meditate on is Philippians chapter 4, verse 8. Because, newsflash, God wants us to think rationally, logically, but there's also supernatural thinking too. But he doesn't want us thinking crazy thoughts and distorted thoughts. No, he wants us to think about what is true, what is praiseworthy and virtuous and good. We're to take captive every thought that's contrary to the knowledge of Christ and what is good. And so we've got to challenge, dispute this type of thinking when you're dating, when you're in a relationship. This kind of thinking will continue. I call it going to crazy town. Don't go to crazy town. Crazy town is where nothing, upside is downside and black is purple and all kinds of stuff. It's crazy, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, crazy. And you will never get anywhere in crazy town. You just go and gerbil on the wheel. So that's what I teach my clients. Don't get on the crazy train. So think rationally, logically, and sometimes some things defy logic. But I'll wrap up here and just want to reiterate, when it comes to this number 2 fear, it robs you of today. Today is all we have. The things we do today can contribute to what we want to do tomorrow, but I'm not going to put my hopes and dreams all in that future state, except for heaven, because on this earth, I know that I can plan all day long and something happened and it doesn't go the way I want. So my hope isn't really in that. I really may want something, but I'm happy as I'm doing this future thing. Because I do want to say there's nothing wrong with, I'm going to go back to the being internally secure in who you are and being happy by yourself. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with wanting a mate, desiring a mate. But the caveat is again, if you are unhappy by yourself, a mate isn't going to feel that in you. And it's like the things that we do in order to be internally secure, where you are internally secure in who you are. And I like to believe I'm a romantic when I think about relationships, particularly from like the Bible. And I always believe this. Some of the greatest love stories, especially in the Old Testament, how the guy found the girl, they were out doing stuff. They weren't at home. Oh, God's going to send me a husband. Ding dong, I'm here. No, they were out living their life, doing their thing, and that person saw each other and boom, bam, they got together. So when I'm living internally secure, I'm out there living my life. And my potential mate's going to see me out there, and it could be anywhere. It could be anywhere, grocery store, church, amusement park, somewhere. But understand, where you go shopping does matter. I was an asterisk. I'm not saying you can't meet your mate at the club, but you think that out logically, rationally. Okay, I'm not gonna tell you you're not gonna find your mate at the club, but you make that decision if you think this person is gonna be club material. I'm a realist. That could be a good guy who's just hanging out with his fellas at the club one night and he's not normally a clubber. That can happen, but asterisk, asterisk. Another topic I ain't gonna talk about now, but it's like where you meet this person they can give you some clues on whether or not this person is relationship material. Okay. All right. Well, this has been a blessing. And I say, if you have any questions about anything I've talked about in these past couple of days, just put a message in the chat. You can also email me or message me via and go to my website. It's www.h as in Henry, as in Sam, C as in cat, ERICAHARRIS.com. Also, tomorrow will be the last session. I'm talking about the last thing not to fear, and then just sum up what I've talked about the past 3 days. And then at the end of that day, I will give how you can win the giveaway. So you'll want to tune in tomorrow to find out how you can enter to win the giveaway I'm going to give at the end of the day 3. So again, God be blessed with everyone who comes across this. And of course, everybody be blessed, and bye-bye.